It has become important to study diversity in the 21st decade because minority groups in the United States are growing so quickly that they are going to become a part of the majority group. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, some minority groups are growing so quickly that they estimate that a majority-minority crossover will take place between 2040 and 2050. This simply means that the U.S. population will consist of more people of color than white. The U.S. has experienced nearly unprecedented immigration, especially from Southeast Asia and Mexico, Central America, and South America. Even if net immigration remains at a constant level, the Hispanic population is expected to be more than double between 2000 and 2050, whereas the Asian population is expected to increase by 79%. This is happening due to the immigration and fertility trends. Furthermore, in terms of ethno-racial diversity, almost half of all children younger than age 5 are members of a racial or ethnic minority, and if this continues, that will increase. Wealth and employment issues. In contrast to 26% of whites and 33% of Asians, Pacific Islanders, more than half of Hispanics, African Americans, and American Indians are poor or nearly poor. Black and Hispanic men earn 73.1% and 67.8% of the earnings of white men. Black women earn 86.1% of that of white women. The unemployment rate for white Americans was 8.8%, while black Americans was 16.5%. As you can see, there was a higher rate of unemployment for black Americans than white Americans. Criminal justice issues. The incarceration rate for black men ages 20 to 34 is 1 out of 9, compared to 1 out of 106 for white men. Coming in second with incarceration dates is Native Americans. The incarceration rate for black and Hispanic young men ages 16 to 25 are 6.5% and 2.7%, while white young male is 1.2%. This has a lot to do with the educational background of these individuals. It is said that 30% of those with no college education and 60% of those with no high school degree were incarcerated. Black Americans receive much longer sentences than whites and have less of a chance to get their sentence reduced. Blacks are more likely to be sentenced to death than white defendants are. 10% more of whites own homes compared to blacks. The mortgage denial rate was 10.8% for high-income whites and 19.7% for low-income whites. However, among high-income Latinos, the denial rate was 27.7%. Among low-income Latinos, it was 29%, and for blacks, it was roughly 30%, regardless of their income. I was on Craigslist looking at houses for rent, and at the end of the ad, it said, in parentheses, "No black renters allowed." That just shows how racial inequality is still an issue in today's society. Education issues include high school dropout rates, which are highest with Hispanics and second highest for blacks. In Pacific and Northwestern regions, less than half of American Indians and Alaska Native students graduate high school. Whites are less likely to obtain a college degree than Asian Americans, but more likely to obtain a college degree than blacks. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the health issues, which include housing areas with the poorest conditions tend to have the highest concentrations of minorities and weak political power to improve these conditions. Black women with a college degree have a higher rate of infant mortality than women of any other background who have not graduated high school. Hispanics make up the largest population of uninsured workers at 39.6%, followed by American Indians at 32.1%. African Americans at 22.8%, and Asian and Pacific Islanders at 18.8%. Whites are at 14.1% for being uninsured. Even when the outcome Even when the income and access to health care are controlled, minorities receive lower quality health care. My program is to create classes and assemblies in school that focus on wealth and employment issues, criminal justice issues, education issues, and health issues among the minorities. I feel that this is important to have in middle schools and high schools to provide all students with knowledge on the various issues that minorities face and ways to improve in all of these areas. If we educate our children on what is going on in the world, we can help prevent people from becoming a part of these statistics. In the classes, we can have children of all races working together to complete different projects. For example, I also find it helpful to have kids going up and teaching what they believe is right. This program will become active in the beginning of each school year at all middle schools and high schools. Once students reach high school, they will be required to take a refresher course every year until graduation. The program will be free because of the scholarships and grants we receive to fund these programs. The outcome of this program will be that students of all races will continue going to school after they graduate high school. Also, they will in turn stay out of the criminal justice system. Education plays a huge role in all of these issues faced by minorities, so it is important that we teach our children to stay in school and educate themselves on racial and inequalities.